Let's go to Caesars Palace in Las Vegas and into the ring. The stare between Sugar Ray Leonard on the right, Wilfred Benitez, the welterweight champion, on the left. The anticipation growing at Caesars Palace. Let's get the introductions from Chuck Hull.
The officials assigned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission for the next bout of the evening. The judges are Art Lurie, Harry Gibbs, and Ray Solis. The referee is Carlos Padilla. This is a 15-round contest for the WBC Welterweight Championship. Introducing in the blue corner, fighting out of Palmer Park, Maryland, undefeated in 25 professional fights, a very popular Sugar Ray Leonard. And in the red corner, the WBC welterweight champion. He fights out of San Juan, Puerto Rico, weighing in at 144 1/2 pounds, the very popular Wilfred Benitez. 15 rounds of boxing.
Wilfred Benitez, the champion, undefeated. Only blemish on his record, a draw with Harold Weston. He later defended his championship and defeated Harold Weston in a 15-round decision. And of course, Sugar Ray Leonard ready for this one. There is the champion, Wilfred Benitez, scheduled for 15. What about the early round strategy, Al?
Well, I think Leonard wondering how elusive Benitez will be. He's heard so much about the fact that Benitez is hard to hit, and of course Sugar Ray, with great hand speed, thinks that perhaps he can change that.
The early feeling out process here.
Both fighters have good jabs, though certainly Sugar Ray's would probably rate a slight edge over Benitez. Benitez more effective as a counterpuncher, so it'll be interesting to see if Ray takes the fight to him.
And certainly Benitez a good defensive boxer.
That is his forte, and that's what Sugar Ray needs to test early. Indication earlier, the hand speed of Sugar Ray landed that good combination, and we can see early here what a chess match this fight is.
I think you saw in that last movement, you see Sugar Ray throwing out that jab and pulling back, certainly in anticipation of that counter from Wilfred Benitez.
And the counter punching of Benitez is the one thing that Sugar Ray, I think, is most wary of in this fight.
Round one scheduled for 15.
Ray is starting to get the jab in here early, and that's a key punch for him. That will set up all kinds of other combinations for him. And early, he's getting it in more than maybe expected. And there's a good left hook.
Got a good left hook, backed up Benitez with less than a minute and a half to go in round one. Now, Ray Leonard starting to open up here. Sugar Ray very aggressive at this point.
He is landing well, much better perhaps than he might have expected early in the fight against Benitez.
But Benitez slipping a lot of those punches. His punches not landing flush. Carlos Padilla is the referee. Nice jab by Sugar Ray Leonard. Crisp on the button.
Here's the hand speed of Leonard. You know, you talk about the fact that Leonard may not have faced a fighter as tricky as Benitez, but Benitez has not faced a fighter that has as quick hands as Sugar Ray does.
Exactly right. Less than half a minute to go in round one. Good start for the challenger, Sugar Ray Leonard. Benitez countering with a good left hook to the body. Late in round one, final seconds. And we'll be back. Getting set for round two of the scheduled 15-round bout for the WBC Welterweight Championship. Sugar Ray Leonard In the white trunks, Wilfred Benitez, the champion, in the blue trunks. At Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. In a fairly quiet first round, Al, but I thought Sugar Ray took it.
Well, he showed, I think, the hand speed that we knew he had coming into this fight, and that was, I think, the key difference in round one. And Wilfred looks a little tight early in this fight.
Leonard, after a cautious start, came on in that first round, opened up with a couple of flurries and combinations.
The Leonard jab working so well in this fight, and that's been the key to his early successes so far. Benitez really hasn't opened up yet.
1979, a very busy year for Sugar Ray Leonard. This was his 9th bout. Record of 25-0 coming in against Benitez, who is 37-0-1.
Benitez coming in here as a double champion already, beating Antonio Cervantes for the junior welterweight title, and then, of course, as you mentioned, beating Palomino for the welterweight title.
Second title defense for Wilfred Benitez, having defended successfully against Harold Weston. And now going up against the great Olympic champion, Sugar Ray Leonard.
Both fighters very cautious, as you said, in this round, using almost exclusively the jab. Neither fighter wants to open up because they are concerned about the counterpunching of the other.
You saw Benitez countering with the left hook.
Carlos Padilla, referee, known for letting fighters fight on the inside. In this fight, that shouldn't really be a factor because both these fighters, as we can see, like to peck away from long range.
Less than a minute to go, round two. Leonard getting the right hand uppercut in there. I'll tell you, there's a look of respect in the eyes of both fighters.
I was just thinking that as I watched this. Both fighters know that the other man has the hand speed and the counterpunching ability to hurt him if he makes a mistake. So neither fighter wants to make that mistake right now.
Clock winding down on round two, and that Sugar Ray Leonard jab looking sharp again. Leonard, the man opening up with the combinations and scoring with them. Nice straight left hand by Sugar Ray Leonard. Buckled the knees of Wilfred Benitez. Final seconds of round two. Sam Rosen and Al Bernstein with you. We're watching Wilfred Benitez on the left, Sugar Ray Leonard on the right. Battle for the WBC Welterweight Championship at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas. This is round three, scheduled for 15. I like the staring they've been doing at the end of each round thus far, Al.
Well, both these fighters trying to gain some psychological and physical advantage in a fight in which neither has occurred so far.
For Sugar Ray Leonard, a step up in opponents, obviously, as he fights for the championship. After coming off a win, knockout win in the first round over Andy Price. Not your household name, but Sugar Ray not looking nervous at all, looking very confident and fighting his type of fight thus far.
If there's a fighter in these early rounds who looks tight, it's Benitez. He is still, I think, not quite into this fight, not as loose as he'd like to be.
Why do you think that is?
I really don't know. He's had a lot of experience and he's been in big fights. Maybe none as big as this, though. Perhaps we have to recognize that. Except for his win over Cervantes and a couple of Madison Square Garden wins over Bruce Curry, this might be the biggest fight for him.
The Leonard jab has been very effective, and that left hook has landed. Benitez took a straight left late in the second round, had his knees buckled.
Of course, his win over Carlos Palomino in San Juan was significant, and a big crowd there for that, a lot of pressure. So that would be maybe the nearest to this that Benitez has faced.
And Benitez has been reluctant to go in and work on the inside.
No, I think he was stung early by the power of Sugar Ray and perhaps surprised by the power of Leonard.
Past the midway point of round three. Nice counter jab by Sugar Ray Leonard. After Benitez was short, Benitez waves Leonard in. Sugar Ray is standing right there and ready to mix it up with him.
much less foot movement in this fight than one would have expected. They're both right there, but again, so hard for each to land a punch.
Right now, it seems like the hand speed of Leonard is the difference.
And he's putting his punches together better. Benitez throwing one punch at a time.
Benitez missing, and Leonard countering with the combination that scores. Left hook scoring well for Sugar Ray Leonard. And again, Leonard charging in on the offensive.
Benitez so much more effective when a fighter's coming to him and he counterpunches, as was the case against Palomino. Oh,
and a straight left hand, actually a jab, knocks down Wilfred Benitez. He acknowledges the crowd, says he's okay, and a confident Sugar Ray Leonard waits for the mandatory 8 count to be given by Carlos Padilla. Final seconds of the 3rd round, Benitez sent down a straight left by Sugar Ray Leonard, and we come to the bell ending round 3.